Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel CMAS Academy. In this video, we are going to learn accountancy for second PUC, starting with the first chapter, not-for-profit organization. Now, as the name itself suggests, these organizations do not run for profit. Their main motto or their main objective is to render service to the society and not making profit. Now in this video, we are going to learn only the basics from this first chapter so that this can help you to solve the practical problems. Now to start up with the basics, it's very important for you to understand what are capital items and what are revenue items. Because when you start up with the problems, mainly the questions are relating to classification of capital items and revenue items. Once you are able to classify what are revenue and capital items, the problem becomes easier for you. So firstly, we'll understand what is capital item. See, capital items are those which are non-recurring in nature, which means which an organization do not pay or receive regularly. Okay, now capital items can be further classified into capital receipts and capital expenditure. Capital receipts that you receive and capital expenditure that you pay. Now, which are not recurring in nature, which do not happen to an organization very often or very regularly, we classify it as capital items. Now, what about the revenue items? Revenue items are dead opposite of capital items, which are recurring in nature. So, revenue receipt or revenue expenditure is something that an organization keeps on receiving or keeps on paying. Generally, which are paid or received at least once in a year. We classify as revenue items. Now to learn the adjustments, the first adjustments that you will have to encounter with regard to not-for-profit organization problems will always be with regard to the subscriptions. Now what are subscriptions? See, usually an organization might provide magazines, can provide certain periodicals or journals. So there are members here. Now these members are subscribing to your newspapers or journals or magazines. The income that an organization gets from this, that is called as the income from subscriptions. Now how are we going to deal with the subscription? So whenever there is a question of subscription, we calculate a subscription like this. Total subscription which is given in the question, and then if there is any subscription relating to the previous year, PY is the previous year, the last year's subscription, we are going to deduct it from the total subscription. Then if there is any subscription received in advance, that is next year's subscription received in the current year, we are also going to deduct it. Then if there is any subscription of the current year received in the previous year, current year being the present year. So if there is any subscription of the current year which is received in the last year or the previous year, we are going to add it. Similarly, if there is any outstanding subscription relating to the current year, we have to add it. Now this total gives you the total amount of subscription, income from subscriptions. Now why are we deducting the previous year's subscription and next year's subscription? See, basically when we talk about the income from subscription, we are basically calculating here the total subscriptions of the current year. So whichever is not relating to the current year, we are deducting those subscriptions. So previous year and the next year are not relating to the current year definitely. That is why we deduct the subscription of the previous year. We also deduct the subscription which is related to the next year. And what are we only keeping in the subscription concept? We are adding only those subscriptions which are supposed to be received or already received in the current year. Outstanding subscription and any current year subscription which is received in the previous year. So that is about subscriptions. Second adjustment that comes is regarding the donations. Now there are two types of donations which you might see in the adjustments. Specific donations and general donations. Now what do we have to do with the specific donations? See, specific donations are those donations which are received for a specific cause or a particular cause. Maybe donations for building, donations for a dam construction. This is a specific donation. Now always remember, specific donations are to be capitalized. And when I say it is to be capitalized, it always means that that should be recorded in the balance sheet liability side. Then coming to the general donations, donations will be considered as a revenue receipt. When we consider anything as revenue, we are recording it in the income and expenditure account in the credit side, which is the income side. So that is about donations. Now, what are legacies? Are the amount received by a not for profit organization as per the will of a deceased person. So, generally, they are treated as capital receipts. And when I say again capital receipts, so whenever an item is capitalized, it means it is to be recorded in the balance sheet liability side, which will be added to the capital fund. Then comes life membership fees. Life membership fees is also a capital receipt because it is received once in the life of the once in the lifetime. That is, when a member joins to a particular organization or a club, he pays that life membership fees. So it is received one time. That is why it is a capital receipt which is to be recorded in the balance sheet liability side and again added to capital fund. Then entrance fees or admission fees. Now this can be treated as capital receipt or as a revenue receipt depending on the question. In the question, if they have told that capitalize entrance fees, then you have to write it in the liability side, balance sheet liability side. If they have told consider it as a revenue receipt, then we are going to record it in the income and expenditure account credit side. Next one, sale of old asset. If any fixed asset like land, building, machinery is being sold, then whatever is the profit on the sale of that asset, that amount we are going to record it in the income and expenditure account credit side, which is the income side. If there is a loss on sale of asset, then we are recording it in the debit side, income and expenditure account. Then the book value is deducted from the concerned asset in the balance sheet. Next comes the sale of old newspapers, magazines or sports materials like bat, ball, etc. Now they will be treated as a revenue receipt because this can happen once in a year. So it is recurring in nature. We consider it as a revenue receipt, and when it is a revenue receipt, we record it in income and expenditure account credit side, being the income side. Now, payment of honorarium. Now, what is honorarium? The amount which is paid to a person who is not the regular employee of the institution. Maybe the payment which is given to an artist. If the club is organizing any program and we invite some artist to the program, and the amount that we pay to that particular artist for performing, that will be called as honorarium. Now, this honorarium will be considered as a revenue expenditure which will be recorded in the debit side, income and expenditure account debit side. Why debit side? Because it is the payment side, expenditure side, and payment of honorarium is a revenue expenditure. That is why we are recording it in the debit side of the income and expenditure account. Next comes the endowment fund. Here endowment funds is treated as capital receipt. And again, when we say it is a capital receipt, we record it in the balance sheet liability side. Next, for the government grants or the maintenance grants, it can be considered as a revenue receipt and recorded in the credit side of the income and expenditure account. If it is any special grant, then we will consider it as a capital receipt and record it in the balance sheet liability side. We will add it to the capital fund. Now, how to treat the outstanding incomes, income received in advance, and the outstanding expenses. Outstanding income, firstly, it will be recorded in the balance sheet as a current asset. Now, there might be a outstanding income which is given in the receipts and payment account. If it is given in the receipts and payment account, that relates to the last year. If the amount is given in the adjustments. Outstanding income given in the adjustments relates to the current year. If the year is not mentioned specifically, then. Now, income and in the, how are we going to treat it in the income and expenditure account? Write up the opening balance, add the current year outstanding income, and deduct the last year's outstanding income. So the basic idea is in the non-profit organization is always to keep up the current year's amount and to deduct the previous year and the next year's amount. So that is how we are going to deal with the outstanding income. Then about income received in advance. Now it is a current liability because we have received an income already. In advance we have received it, so we treat it as a current liability. So it goes to balance sheet, current liability. Now under income and expenditure account, we write the opening balance, and then from that we deduct the income of next year received in the current year, and then we add up income of the current year received in the previous year. Lastly, about the outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses will go to the balance sheet, current liability. Secondly, when you write it in the income and expenditure account, write the opening balance, add the current expenses, add the outstanding expenses of the current year, and then deduct the outstanding expenses of the last year or the previous year. So this is a basic understanding of not-for-profit organization, which will help you to prepare the practical problems. So in the next class, we will start with the practical problems. Thank you.